Welcome to the Camp Constitution Report with your host, Hal Shurtleff. This report is heard on or viewed on our YouTube channel, our Rumble channel, as well as about a half a dozen podcast formats, iHeart, Amazon, and several others. Brought to you by Camp Constitution, which, among all things, runs a week-long family camp, and we have activities year-round at various places. To get more information, please visit our website, campconstitution.net. Now, some of you have been following this podcast or the radio show I did previous to that. You may know of a book that we published called The Racist Roots of Planned Parenthood and Its Legacy of Death. This is where I published letters, correspondence between Margaret Sanger and Dr. Clarence Gamble. And in these letters were information about the infamous Negro Project. This was a project where Sanger was opening up birth control clinics, so-called clinics, in the South, in predominantly Black, or I should say, Black communities. And the goal was to promote birth control amongst Blacks because they thought they were racist and they thought Blacks were inferior and it wasn't good for our genetic pool, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And as I'm reading these letters, this correspondence that I got from the Harvard University's medical school library, this would be the papers of Dr. Clarence Gamble, who lived in Milton, Massachusetts at the time. Lasker, I should say, the funder, in these letters, there was much reference made to an Albert Lasker, who, as you'll see on this website of the Lasker Foundation, was a pioneer. Let's see what they said about it. This is the website of the Lasker Foundation, which was founded by Albert and Mary Lasker. It just says that she and her husband, pioneer advertising executive Albert Davis Lasker, 1880 to 1952, established a legacy of advocacy and philanthropy in support of science and health. What this website doesn't tell you that Albert was the major contributor to the Negro Project. And they also don't tell you that Mary was a very close friend of Margaret Sanger, that she ran a birth control so-called clinic in New York City, and no doubt subscribed to her radical Marxist communist views. So they founded this entity shortly after World War II, and it still survives to this day. So if you go to their website, you'll only see this nice little positive information about Mary and Albert. What's interesting is that even Planned Parenthood and the Pathfinder International have condemned the racist roots of their founders. Pathfinder was founded by Clarence Gamble, and of course, Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger. Now, they still do its evil, wicked mission. They haven't said, oh my goodness, we should just close shop because of all the terrible things we've realized that we've been doing. No, they just say, yeah, our founders were racist, but wait, we still, they don't say it, but we completely embraced their worldview and their mission. So it's a lot of just PR. You know, as time goes on, people learn about entities, and sometimes it takes a long time. And the left yaps about systemic racism, and they say, well, not anymore, except groups like Planned Parenthood, and not that the Lasker Foundation today is promoting eugenics. Oh, I don't know offhand. I don't know what they're funding. My good friend Dr. Willie Soon, one of our instructors, when he first heard about the Lasker Foundation through me, well, I should say the history of the Lasker Foundation, not necessarily the foundation itself, he got back to me and he basically said the Lasker Foundation is like the AAA in baseball of the Nobel Peace Prize. He said a lot of their recipients of awards go on to get the Nobel Peace Prize. And there is in the National Institute of Health, there's a Lasker scholarship named after the Laskers. So I did write a letter to Robert Kennedy. I don't expect him to read it and respond, but this should be abolished. So I put a call into the Lasker Foundation. They're based in New York City, and asking the nice lady that answered the phone if they plan to update their website, putting information about Albert Lasker and Mary Lasker's racist background. And of course, she had no idea. And I asked if who at the foundation would know, and she said she'd get back to me. Here's my number. I don't expect a call back. However, like anything else, things take time and also a little momentum. So those of you who would like to make a call, you can the information is right on the website, but you can call the office here, the Lasker Foundation at area code 212-286-0222 and say, hey, why don't you put information about Albert Lasker's support of the or funding of the Negro Project? And by the way, you can get this information. You don't want to just call blindly and say, oh, because Hal Shurtleff said I should call. If you go to our website, campconstitution.net, you'll find the book as a free PDF, The Racist Roots of Planned Parenthood and Its Legacy of Death. And in that, is all the information you need. It's the actual letters, which of course I took pictures of the letters and then I transcribed them because they were typewritten, hard to read from the 1930s and 40s and early 50s, but it's all there. So, and if you do call, be polite. We don't encourage mean spiritedness, and I'm imagining that very few people, if any, know much about the Laskers. I mean, he died in 1952 and she died, I think, in the mid 70s. And she's actually on a postage stamp. She got a Presidential Freedom Award. It's amazing. Well, the left was complaining about some people that he's giving Charlie Kirk posthumously a Freedom Award. The left is going ballistic. They don't know about some of the really evil people that have received his Presidential Freedom Award. So, with that, I want to thank you for watching and listening, and you've been listening and watching to the Camp Constitution Report with your host, Hal Shurtleff. And until next time, may God richly bless you. Well, the first thing I do is I stop the screen share and then I end the program. God bless.